Hey everyone, this is Luke again, and welcome back to yet another Ninjago Dragons Rising video onto the channel today. So, along with the episode descriptions, my good friend Ninja Man 285 also showed me some set information that does correlate with the potential stories for Dragons Rising. Not this season, but the next season, in season 2, because it was already confirmed when Dragons Rising was not even out yet that there was going to be at least 2 seasons. So, yeah. But one of the figures that was in the sets was Garmadon and Wu. Two of them were Garmadon and Wu. And this set, I think, is the 71819 Temple of the Dragonstone, which is supposedly for 120 euros, which I'm not sure what that is in US dollars, but I'm sure that's going to be very expensive as well, and the whole thing is supposed to look like a diorama. But this just raises the question, why? Why would they bring Wu and Garmadon back? And honestly, it's probably going to come down to the fact that they're just ever-present characters in the Ninjago franchise, which I understand because they're like really recognizable. But at the same time, it's like Wu's not even supposed to be in Dragon's Rising, or at least not from what I've seen. He don't appear to be in he's not really supposed to be there, or at least be there in spirit, which is what they were kind of doing in season 1. Why ruin that by then bringing him back? If you were going to bring him back in season 1. You didn't have to, wait a year and then do it, because that's basically giving us some false hope. And then, doing that. That's basically insult to injury. And as for Garmadon, it's not as bad, but it'll probably still leave a bitter taste in my mouth, because unless it's something like a reconciliation with Lloyd, he really shouldn't be brought back, because they've been dragging the whole Lloyd and Garmadon thing for so long, to the point where I'm just not interested in any Lloyd and Garmadon stuff anymore. I'm really not interested. And, it's better yet if I read, what my good friend Ninja Man said about that. These are his words, not mine. I can't tell if they wanted Garmadon and Crystallized to be funny or serious. His funny scenes were way too over the top and completely out of character for this version of Garmadon. It felt like they were trying to combine his season 1 self with his movie counterpart, and it just didn't work. Mind you, this is his opinion, not my opinion. Was the story with Crystal Fern supposed to be emotional? Whenever the plant would get destroyed, Garmadon would freak out in a very over-the-top way and go full Oni, but it honestly felt played off for jokes. And in the end, we got an emotional resolution for that, but not for Lloyd. And the way that storyline was handled just shows that the Lloyd and Garmadon conflict has run its course. There's the issue of the Great Devourer twist and Harumi, two things that should have deeply affected Garmadon that he barely had a reaction to. Instead, he just screams at Lloyd to use his Oni form and fakes his death as a joke. Now, if the set rumors are true and he returns in Dragon's Rising, he needs a proper resolution with Lloyd. However, I feel that that will just rehash some of the worst aspects of Crystallize, which is something I really don't want to see. Plus, the way his character was handled in Crystallize just makes me never want to see him again. Besides, Garmadon was the villain of the original series. This is a new series. I don't see any need to bring him back. And he also said that if we also both agreed that if both Wu and Garmadon return Dragon's Rising, we're both going to call it quits at that point, because there's no need for that. There is literally no need to bring either of these two characters back. Yeah, they're iconic characters. No one is denying that. But their time has come. It's time to let them go. It's time to just not feature them in any stories anymore. I know it sucks, but that's the truth. They need to be let go. He also said the reason I, and most likely me as well, watched Dragons Rising in the first place is because it shook up the status quo and is introducing us to so many unique characters and villains, and we both love that. Now they're completely screwing everything up, and it's just going to be back to old Ninjago, but with merged realms. So, hopefully that the set information is just for sets, just to sell sets, but Ninjago has a very notorious tendency of, if they show up in the set, they're most likely going to show up in the show. There are some exceptions to the rule, like Nelson, and I think Nelson was in a Day of the Departed set, but he never appeared in Day of the Departed. But that's like the only exception I can personally think of. And I really hope that it's just a way to sell more sets by including Wu and Garmadon because they sell well. And hopefully they don't show up in the show. And if they do, it better be something like a flashback, because that's the only acceptable way they've done it. The way they've done Wu and Dragons Rising so far has been pretty damn good, because they only did him in flashbacks, and he's only like a spirit, I guess, in a sense, of Dragons Rising, and I want it to be kept that way. Because if they bring them back, I will rage quit, because there is literally no need for this. But what do you guys think? Do you think that potentially bringing back Wu and Garmadon in Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2 is a good idea or a bad one? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel by clicking on the red subscribe button, and click on the notification button to see every video that I will upload. And I'll see all you folks in the next video. Bye-bye!